party people. Gonna eat some papaya here. Drink some coconut water. It's so good. This coconut water is unbelievable. So I got a pro tip for you guys. That has been transformative for me. I was hanging out at the Woodstock Fruit Festival recently. We were talking about sourcing fruit. And somebody was like, gave me the suggestion to post on Facebook Market. Go look on Facebook Marketplace, like search on Facebook Marketplace. I was like, that's interesting. I never thought about that one. I've been doing this for 18 years. And I never thought to look on Facebook Marketplace for produce items. And lo and behold, I found a new coconut source here in South Florida. And this is my second day of drinking this guy's coconuts from his yard. And they are some of the best coconuts I've ever had. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So good. So good, so good, so good. I'm going to have a little papaya here on our show. Talking about things to have in your pantry. And, of course, we're going to answer questions, okay? So that's what we're going to do here today. Good to see you all. If you haven't picked up a copy of Mastering Diabetes, today's your day. Grab yourself a copy of Mastering Diabetes on Amazon. Give it to your library. And let's let the comment section be the brag section, okay? Make it the brag box. Okay, all right. 3 things you should always have in your pantry. I mean, there's a lot of things you should always have in your pantry. I mean, if you want to have dry goods, right, they'll just last. You know, we could talk about, beans. We could talk about lentils, things like that, dry goods. Whole grains, great dry goods to be having in your pantry. And I think some dried fruit's a good thing to have in your pantry. I certainly, 3 things that are always in my pantry is I got some dates for sure. I'll tell you that much. I have some dried figs in my pantry. And we got Troy. Good to have you here, Troy. Great to have you here. What else will be in my pantry? We got figs. We got dates in the pantry. I think some dried tomatoes with no added salt. Good thing to have in the pantry. That's really helpful for some sauces and stuff like that, So I'm curious, what do you guys store in your pantry? What's in your pantry right now? Troy, what's in your pantry? Charles, what is in your pantry? Would love to know. Okay. We got Marvin's in the house. Type 2. Marvin, I'm curious. Have you read the book? Let me know. Marvin, have you read the book Mastering Diabetes? Would love to know. Who else is in the house with us? Addie's here, wishing that she had good papaya. I mean, you should be able to get good papaya in Ohio, honestly. I don't know what city you're in, but you should be able to go to like an Asian market. And that Asian market going to have the same imported papaya that people are getting in New York City, that people are getting in LA. This is local papaya, which is a blessing. But I would recently have been buying papaya from imported from Mexico. It's very good. We got brown rice and quinoa from Carrie. Excellent. Addie says, a win for me lately. So much energy. I've been experimenting with less fat like you teach in the book, and I'm feeling great. That's fantastic, Addie. I love it. Rebecca, chickpeas and black beans. Let's go. Beautiful. Love that. Carrie's got some oats. What kind of oats? You ever cooked with oat groats? You got steel cut? You got rolled? What do you got? Super curious. Question, is the fats in avocados healthy? So here's the bottom line. Too much total fat is a problem no matter where it comes from. Okay? If you try to eat a diet of have 2 avocados a day or something, 3 avocados a day, that's going to be excess calories and excess fat in most cases, right? Remember, fat, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, whereas 1 gram of carbohydrate is 4 calories. Okay. So big difference. Okay. Now, you got to be careful. So basically, we teach you how to use a software called Chronometer. Use Chronometer, and you can figure out how many total grams of fat you're having per day. You want to keep that total number under 30, okay? Or your percent of calories from fat under 15, okay? Marjorie says, I am pre-diabetic and my doctor said no fruits. Okay, Marjorie, I'm so glad you're here. Hope today changes your life. Have you read this book? The more fruit you eat, the more insulin sensitive you become. The more carbohydrate you consume, the more insulin sensitive you become. So I'm sorry that your doctor's sharing that information. If you want to keep conversing with your doctor, you could ask them, hey, doc, can you please send me some research demonstrating what happens when people with prediabetes eat more fruit, and see if he or she can produce a study demonstrating to you that makes it very convincing that when people added a bunch of whole fruit, things went wrong with their blood glucose or their weights or their triglycerides, you know? So when somebody gives advice like that, I think it's totally warranted to ask, hey, where did that come from, right? Because the research that we see is that fruit is associated with nothing but better blood glucose control, reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes in population studies. So, and we see it over and over and over again in our coaching program. The more fruit you eat, the more insulin sensitive you become. There's just no question about it. It's such a nutrient-dense, high water, high fiber, delicious item. And it fills you up with not too many calories. Type 2 Louisiana. I have the book and enrolled in coaching. Excellent. That's huge. Let's go. Okay. What's the last fruit you ate? That's a great question. In the chat box, what fruits are you enjoying right now? Would love to know. Would love to know. All right. Okay. Let's see what else is going on here. Is it on Amazon? It sure is. It sure is on Amazon. Just type in Mastering Diabetes book into Amazon, and you'll see it right there. Catherine's got the oat groats. I love it. Nutritional yeast and dry beans. That's a good pantry right there. Lalia. Grapefruit. Wonderful fruit. I love that. I love it. It's fantastic. Catherine says, yes, it's on Amazon. 100%. It's definitely on Amazon. So let me see if I can pull up that graphic where we can never see this graphic enough times. Really helps you demonstrate how much fat is in common foods that people are eating, and they just don't really know it. They're just not sure. Nobody explained it to you, so how would you know? Bananas from Cecile. Okay, there's the graphic. At the top of the page, you have a full day of eating. All of these things. Okay, that's the full day. 15 grams of total fat in a full day of eating. All these recipes are in the book. Okay? Down here, you have 9 foods. 9 foods in here. Each one of them contains 15 grams of fat. Okay? So let me read this to you. 1 tablespoon of olive oil, 15 grams of fat. Less than an ounce of sesame seeds, 15 grams of fat. Peanut butter, 1.8 tablespoons, less than 2 tablespoons, 15 grams of fat. Almonds, 1.1 ounce, 15 grams of fat. Coconut meat, 1.6 ounces, 15 grams of fat. You see how these are small amounts? Avocado, 3.5 ounces. Okay? What about melon? Melon is fantastic. I just had a bunch of watermelon yesterday. I had like a honeydew style melon. It was delicious. Melons are great. Now, depending on how insulin resistant you are, you might need to be careful with the speed at which you consume the melon, right? You may want to slow it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So take your time, enjoy your meal. If you need to break it up into 2 different meals, that's fine. Have half your melon that you want. Take a 20-minute break. Take a 15-minute break. Eat the other half. That can help you stabilize. You wanna make sure you're eating slowly. Make sure you're walking. You could eat greens with your melons. It's not the greatest combination of all time, but you certainly could do it. Okay, Paula, West Palm, good to have you with us. Catherine had some blueberries. Oh, I had some blueberries yesterday too. I had blueberries, I had strawberries, I put it in a wrap. It was fantastic. I bought this ebook from a woman. Her account is Raw Food Romance. And she has like this book about how to make wraps. And you put the ingredients in a blender, then you put it in the dehydrator, and then you roll up a wrap. And it's super fun. Highly, highly recommend that. Super fun. Okay, guys, we're going to keep it short today. If anybody has any questions, I'll answer some questions before the show is over. But we're going to keep it short today. The key thing is this weekend to take action and plan your days. Like if there's one thing you can do, stock up your pantry, get the right things in there, but plan. Commit to the decisions that you're going to make. Put your meals into like Chronometer or something, right? Give yourself the confidence about the nutrients you're consuming and then go and do it. If you're pre-diabetic and overweight, does it make sense to eat mostly non-starch veggies instead of fruits and starchy vegetables? Okay, so great question, Carrie. That could work for a very short period of time, but eventually you're going to get hungry. Eventually you're going to want some more calories, right? So that's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they adopt this lifestyle. They don't consume enough calories because these meals are so low in calories. This is a very small meal for me. This is like a snack. But for some people, this would be a lot. You got to eat that whole thing. You're not even going to get that many calories, right? So that's what you got to do. Okay, let's see. Red wine is a question. Red wine. So we wrote about this in the book. All right. And it's, we wrote about this in the book. Look, put it this way. It's not the end of the world, right? There's probably bigger changes to make for most people, right? But it's not ideal. Like if you haven't started drinking, researchers don't suggest you begin drinking because it's healthy. That's not what researchers are saying. So I'd minimize it. Okay, somebody's asking a question about shilajit. Okay, so let me just read you what Google says. Is a sticky substance found primarily in the rocks of the Himalayas. It develops over centuries from the slow decomposition of plants. It's commonly used in Ayurvedic medicine. It's an effective and safe supplement that can have a positive effect on your overall health and well-being. So I don't know much about that substance. But one of the core teaching points we have here at Mastering Diabetes is one thing is not, there's no magic bullet. Whatever that is, however much you have of it, like that's not the reason. Like people come to us because they're overweight. People come to us because their blood glucose is on a roller coaster. They have no energy, right? One thing is not going to fix that. We don't fixate on one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not worried whether you have it or don't have it. If it's just a small portion of your overall diet, what we care about is the bigger picture of the 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 calories you're eating a day. How much of that is coming from whole green light foods, whole plant-based foods, right? That's what we care about, right? How are you moving your body, right? How are you sleeping? There was a question about intermittent fasting that came in. So, like, are you incorporating that? So you're asking a question about frequency of meals. I mean, depending on what your goals are. For me, I eat when I'm hungry. I eat at least 4 times a day, throw some snacks in there. My frequency is whenever I want to eat because I'm eating green light foods. I'm active, and it's very difficult to gain weight when you're doing that. Green light foods are the ticket. So intermittent fasting, depending on what you're doing, you're in 16-8 windows. So let's say you're 16 hours fasting, you got 8 hours of eating. I would say eat whenever you want in that window, We got a question about the book. What's the full name? The full name is called Mastering Diabetes. There's a subtitle, but there's really only one book called Mastering Diabetes. So that's pretty simple. The authors are Cyrus Kambata and Robbie Barbera. Those are the two authors. So there we go. Let's see here. What diet would work to gain weight? So pretty much any diet would work to gain weight as long as you're consuming excess calories. You definitely can gain weight on our diet. We help people do that all the time, especially if people come to us with type 1, type 1.5. They become underweight, and so we're here to help. The key is to eat 500 extra calories per day, and your goal is to gain about a pound a week. Do that consistently. A lot of people struggle because they have misinformation about their blood glucose control and how to do that. So we've been doing the program for 4 weeks now, but hubby's blood sugars aren't going down. What are we doing wrong? Okay, Jan, I'm not sure. What I'd recommend you do is fill out decision trees. If you fill out decision trees, you could share them in our free Facebook group. It's just Google Mastering Diabetes Support Group, Facebook. And so we have to dig into the details. We can certainly help. We have to dig into the details. So, but I'm glad you're making the effort. That's the big part. Tipu says I have the book. Excellent. Fantastic. Okay, guys, this has been fun. It's always good to see you all. Glad I could answer some questions here. The most important thing is take action. Eat more green light foods. Stock your pantry with the green light foods. We talked about lentils today. We talked about beans. Somebody had nutritional yeast in their pantry, right? Some dried figs, some dates. There's some simple things in there. You could probably have some vegetable broth. A lot of good stuff in there. But this has been fun. Good to see you all. Have a fantastic day.